Okay, so in this video, you're going to take your Illustrator file, import it into OnShape, and learn how to model your glasses and learn all these skills along the way. Okay, so you're going to start here with your Illustrator, and if you haven't already, you go to File, Export, and Export As, and you're going to select when that comes up, your format, you're going to change to DXF. Okay, and then just make sure to save that somewhere that you know and then export it. All right, just say OK to that screen. You don't need to change any details. Okay, then you go to OnShape and we're going to start a new document. Create a new document, name it something you recognize, and go to create. Okay, now on the front plane, we're going to start a sketch. And then there's a little button up the top that you'll actually see, make sure you have the front plane selected, and then it's an insert DXF or an image. So we're going to insert the DXF, and you will need to import that into OnShape. So you find where you saved that image, the DXF file I should say, and open that. It will upload it, and then you'll have the option there. So select that and tick the green cross, the green tick I should say, and it comes in on the front face. It should come in at scale 1:1, so it's the right scale, the same, exactly same dimensions as what you had in Illustrator. Okay, then you just go to your extrude and you obviously select that image, that, or sorry, the part of the file that you had, and you extrude it out. Now we're going to extrude it out quite thick because we're going to do an intersection extrude with another part of the image. So now we're going to go back to this PowerPoint, and you literally just want to screenshot that small part of the front face, the top view I should say, of that orthographic file, and we're going to use that as a bit of a template. So we're going to select now the top view, okay, and we're going to insert a plane. This is a construction plane. So it should come up usually as an offset plane. We want to change that to a line angle. So we're going to change that to a line angle, and the line angle is going to be 7 degrees. And then we click OK. Now, you'll see that that first plane is red, and it didn't resolve itself properly, and that's because we actually didn't choose an axis line. Okay, so we're going to go back into our sketch. We're going to go back into the top view. Okay, and we're just going to draw ourselves a line that is parallel to our glasses. So as you can see there, I'm just drawing a line that's parallel. I've made it a construction line, but even if you don't, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we've got that line on that top face. That's going to be our axis line. So if we go, we can see how we can reorder and actually put the sketch above the plane. That way the plane can reference that sketch line. So we're going to now, we have the top plane selected, the line angle, that's the type of plane that we want. And then you'll see it says select axis. So we're going to select that line so it can actually tilt it 7 degrees. Because your glasses don't sit at a 90-degree angle to your face, they're actually tilted slightly forward. So you can see there's the tilt that we want. And we're going to use that then to extrude your glasses. So we're going to start a new sketch. We're going to select that new plane that we created. And we're going to hit N so that we are looking at that plane flat on. And this time we're going to insert image. So now you need to find that screenshot that you took of the top view. So I'm going to the desktop, find that screenshot. As you can see, I've just cropped the top view there and insert that, or upload that I should say. When you select this time, you will see you need to draw the image rectangle. So we're going to roughly draw it to the size of our extrude. Don't worry if you don't get it perfect. We can fix that later on. You can resize it and transform it to the right size, but try and get it roughly to the right size and roughly in the middle of your extrude as well. Okay, so you can see I'm just playing with that to try and get the right size approximately. And then there's the rectangle, so we've drawn the rectangle where the image goes, and then I'm just click and dragging to pick up and move it, so that's roughly in the right space there. And once I'm happy with that, I'm going to rename the sketch so I know what it is. So that's top image, and then I'm going to click the green tick to finish that. And now I'm going to make another sketch again. Okay, and again I'm going to select the same plane, that angled plane. And what I'm basically going to do now is trace that top view. Now when I trace it, you'll notice that there are some nose pieces there. We want to ignore those nose pieces. Okay. I'm just looking at the different views so I can see that I've got the right spot. Using the view cube to move around and get it flat so it's a bit easier for me to draw. Now again, when I draw this, I'm just going to draw half and then I'm going to mirror the other half so that both are equal, and it also saves us time. So I'm going to use the spline tool. Now the spline tool is a little bit similar to the curvature tool or the pen tool in Illustrator. Okay, and you'll find, so we start at that center point and zoom right in so you can get a nice good view, and try and start as close to the center if you can't as possible. Now I find that if I place an anchor point at the beginning of a curve, at the top, and then when it changes, so each time I'm clicking here to add to it, I find that I can get it quite even. Now if you hold Control Shift and the arrow keys, you can pan across. So you can see here how I just was able to move my screen. That's Control, Shift, and the arrow keys. And I just keep going, get around that bend, and I'm going to finish there on that corner. And then I just press Escape to finish that line. Okay? And so now I'm going to go back and do the same for the other side using the spline again. Again, just putting in anchor points every time we sort of start a curve or finish a curve, and at the top of the arch I find is the easiest way to use the spline. Now when we get to here, make sure that they are in exactly the same spot, so you join those because you need to have a closed shape to extrude, and that can be often an error that you have when it's not a closed shape. Okay, so now we've got that line, we've done half. What we're going to put in now is a mirror line. So I've hit Q to get our construction line, so you can see that line is dotted, and I'm putting in a vertical line so that's mirrored. So now I've gotten the mirror tool, I select the mirror line, the axis, and I select, then click on each of the lines to mirror them across. So you basically follow the prompts at the top of that, at the top of your screen, and you can see we now have both sides. What I'm zooming in now is you can also, if you hit Escape, you'll have just like a little select arrow. So I've deleted my axis now that I don't need it anymore, and I'm just fiddling. You can adjust the lines the same way you do with Illustrator if they're not perfect. So you can just adjust them so they're more equal or even and closer to what you want. I'm happy with that. So I'm also going to rename by clicking on the pencil again so I know what each of these are, and click the green tick. Okay, so from here we're going to extrude. Okay, in all transparency, I did have some issues here. So this is me fast forwarding all my issues. I had to adjust the sketch. I had to make sure it was closed, and then I could go ahead. So you've got your sketch and it's closed. So we're happy with that sketch. Now we're going to extrude. Now you need to press intersect and you need to select that. And you also then I had suppressed my extrude, so I unsuppressed it. You don't need to worry about that, but just make sure you have intersect selected, and then you're going to make it symmetrical as well. Now, the reason we're making it symmetrical is so that we are intersecting above and below the plane that we created. Okay, because that plane sort of cuts off our glasses halfway. So when it looks like you've captured all of your glasses, you can press the green tick and you'll see there are your fronts of your glasses. And if you look at them from the side, they should be tilting forward on a very slight angle, at 7-degree angle. Okay, if they're tilting the wrong way, you go to minus 7 degrees, and that will tilt in the opposite direction, and that will work. In this instance, I have it going in the correct direction, but that's a little tip if it's not working for you. Another little tip is if you have your sketch open, and again, it's not quite the right size, you hit the transform button up there, and then you select all the bits you want, and you see that arrow that's sort of going out on a 45-degree angle. You can pull that out to make it bigger or push it back to make it smaller, and you can actually resize your